Real Madrid are building a scary squad, while most teams are taking years to build. Real Madrid did theirs in 7 weeks, and if Rodri joins, Europe has a serious problem. Last season ended trophyless for Real Madrid, as did the year before. But here's the confusing part. The squad had Mbappe, it had Bellingham, it had Vinicius. On paper, they should have been sweeping every competition in Europe. Instead, 2 straight seasons went by without La Liga, the Champions League, or the Copa del Rey to show for it. 2024-25. Barcelona won La Liga with 2 games to spare. Arsenal dumped the reigning champions out of the Champions League quarter-finals, 5-1 on aggregate. While Madrid reached the Copa del Rey final, they lost 3-2 after extra time to Barcelona. The next season didn't fix anything. Out of the Copa del Rey to Albacete. Out of the Champions League to Bayern Munich, and losing out to Barcelona again by 8 points in the league. What kept vanishing was control. Madrid had plenty of players who could win a game on their own. What they didn't have was a structure letting all that talent function as one team instead of 11 soloists. They could score 4 across a tie and still let in 6. The dressing room cracked. Xabi Alonso was gone by January. Valverde and Tchouaméni were fighting with each other in training. And when the season ended, Florentino Perez knew what he needed. And on June 11, 2026, Real Madrid made it official. Jose Mourinho returned to the Bernabeu as Real Madrid manager. It wasn't just another Galactico signing needed, but a fixer. Someone who'd been here before. Someone who knew how to take a broken dressing room and turn it into a machine. This is the same manager who won the Champions League with Porto, then did it again with Inter Milan in 2010. One of only a handful of coaches to win Europe's biggest trophy with 2 different clubs. Benfica received €15 million for him, and almost immediately, the transfer business turned aggressive. Upon his arrival, Mourinho didn't start by chasing another superstar forward. He started at the back. Why? Because Madrid had spent 2 years proving they could hurt anyone. They just couldn't stop anyone from hurting them back. That's what Mourinho saw when he looked at this squad. Starting off with one of the best left-backs in the world, Marc Cucurella. €55 million from Chelsea, plus €5 million in add-ons. 6-year deal until 2032. 2 years ago, this man was getting booed by 40,000 England fans at Euro 2024. They sang his name for all the wrong reasons, called him a cheat, made him a villain. He'd become a meme, a punchline. Fast forward to the World Cup final, he is now a world champion. And Cucurella, he played every single minute of the tournament. All 8 matches. One of only 3 players to do so in the entire competition. In the final, he gave the Argentine defense nightmares. Came inside from the left, found half spaces, nearly scored himself. Messi couldn't get past him. Now he walks into the Bernabeu with that energy, aggression, balance, width on the left. But he's not the only one. Over the last 2 seasons, Madrid have lost one thing at the back: height and a very aggressive defender. Antonio Rudiger, who was supposed to be Hausen's partner, only played a total of 2,191 minutes last season due to injury issues. Mourinho saw that and immediately went to get Ibrahima Konate from Liverpool. He brings physicality, aerial dominance, and defensive reliability next to Rudiger, which means today their centre-back depth is solved. Then he got Denzel Dumfries for a €20 million release clause from Inter. If you ever want to know why Madrid paid that release clause the moment Carvajal's departure was confirmed, go watch the 2025 Champions League semi-final. Barcelona. 2 legs, the biggest stage. Dumfries scored 2 goals and assisted another in a wild 3-3 first leg, then added 2 more assists to send Inter through. 2 goals, 3 assists across 1 semi-final tie. Only the 4th player in Champions League history to manage that. That's the kind of end product Madrid want down that flank. Power, directness, a man who shows up when it matters. Right back, solved. Higher up the field, Bernardo Silva arrived on a free transfer from Manchester City. He's currently 31 years old, 6 Premier League titles, a Champions League, left City as captain, the man who controls tight spaces better than many playmakers. When Guardiola needed someone to keep the ball under pressure, it was Bernardo. When City needed someone to find a pass in a packed box, it was Bernardo. And if you know anything about Mourinho, you'll understand that his value for experience is second to none. Over the past few seasons, Madrid have lost almost everyone who knew the DNA of winning, so Bernardo Silva offers this Madrid side that. Finally, Mourinho looked at his current squad and immediately tried to fix the one thing Madrid fans had always been complaining about: the number 9. While he won't replace Mbappe up front, Carlos Espy is a decent backup when Madrid need to go direct, signed for €25 million. Espy, in all honesty, is a surprise signing. But for anyone who watched the 21-year-old last season, he was insane for Levante, scoring 11 La Liga goals, named the league's best box player under 23, La Liga Player of the Month for March 2026, a classic box striker who wins 56% of his aerial duels and finishes ruthlessly with his right foot, one-touch finishing inside the 6-yard box, a profile Madrid haven't had since Joselu left. He's the kind of guy who attacks crosses and finishes when you need a different kind of threat. Right now, they have 5 signings, and with each, 5 weaknesses addressed, all before August. But Mourinho isn't done. So, Madrid have fixed the defense, they've added control, they've brought in a box striker. But what if Diomande and Rodri actually arrive? That's when it gets scarier. Jan Diomande is a 19-year-old prodigy from RB Leipzig. According to Fabrizio Romano, this deal is done, just waiting on the announcement. If he eventually arrives, there's absolutely no stopping this side. 2 years ago, this kid was at the DME Academy in Daytona Beach, Florida, playing college football. Now he's one of the most wanted attackers in Europe. PSG were long considered favourites. Liverpool and Arsenal were in the race. Leipzig publicly insisted he wasn't for sale. Real Madrid came in anyway. Last season, he had 12 goals and 8 assists. He was also named the Bundesliga Rookie of the Season. He had more dribble attempts than anyone in the league, even recording a league-high 437 duels won. Top 10 for sprints and top speed. At the World Cup, he was Ivory Coast's standout player, created 11 chances in 4 appearances before they were eliminated by Norway, but he's not even the highlight story of this summer. That would be Rodri, the 2024 Ballon d'Or holder, the 2026 World Cup Golden Ball winner, the man who just captained Spain to a World Cup title. He set an all-time tournament record, 648 passes completed, the absolute heartbeat of La Roja's midfield in every single high-stakes encounter, started all 8 matches, never substituted, never dropped. Manchester City want €80 million. Madrid are offering €60 million. His contract expires in 2027. He's rejected every extension City have put in front of him. He wants to come home. Here's what Rodri solves, the exact problem that's cost Madrid trophies for 2 straight seasons: midfield control, tempo, positioning. The guy who decides whether a turnover becomes a sprint or a patient possession. Mourinho doesn't need every recovery to turn into a foot race. Sometimes the smart move after winning it back is just keeping it. Rodri next to Valverde unlocks everything. Valverde stops babysitting the back 4. He presses higher, covers channels, gets into the box. Bellingham stops circulating possession and becomes the late runner nobody can afford to track. Mbappe between the centre-backs, Diomande stretching them wide, a controller behind them. If both those deals go through, there's no stopping this team. But here's the question everyone's asking: can Mourinho actually make this work? Because the last time he had a Madrid team built exactly to his demands, something happened. They didn't just defend well, they scored 121 league goals, won 32 games, finished with 100 points. The first club in La Liga history to reach that mark. Ronaldo alone scored 46. That team could defend, sure, but the minute space opened up, it destroyed people. It didn't just win La Liga, it buried Barcelona by 9 points. 14 years later, look at what Mourinho potentially has: Mbappe's finishing, Bellingham's timing, Valverde's engine, Bernardo's brain, Konaté's power, Cucurella's intensity, Dumfries' directness, Diomande's explosiveness, Rodri's control. With Güler, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Rudiger, Courtois, and Endrick still fighting for a shirt. He's not building Madrid's most glamorous 11. He's building the structure that finally lets the glamorous ones go to work. Without the ball, they will play a compact 4-4-2, protecting the middle, funneling teams wide. Win it back, the picture flips instantly. Diomande runs, Mbappe attacks centrally, Valverde carries, Bellingham arrives late, Bernardo finds the pass. The shape on the graphic matters far less than the relationship between the players, and Mourinho has never needed years to figure those relationships out. If Vinicius decides to stay, whatever ceiling this team has right now will be even higher. And if he doesn't, well, Mourinho already has everything covered. So can this work out for Jose? You bet it can. This Madrid team is scary. Every signing this summer has targeted a specific weakness. If Diomande arrives, the front three becomes terrifying. If Rodri arrives, the midfield becomes unbreakable. This isn't Real Madrid throwing money at the biggest names available and hoping the pieces fit. That strategy defined the club for years. That strategy gave them 2 trophyless seasons and dressing room fights. This is different. This is a calculated rebuild, position by position, weakness by weakness, with a manager who's already done it before. And we already know what happens when Jose Mourinho gets exactly the tools he needs. Europe just got a very serious warning about what's coming next season. And if you enjoyed this one, be sure to check out these videos on your screen right now.